What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be previewing round 14. It's Port Adelaide versus Geelong at the Adelaide Oval. Thursday night footy, Port Adelaide's first of the year. It's going to be a fascinating game. We're going for 11 in a row on that win tally. The streak continues. Can it be done against the Cats, the reigning premiers, who are in a touch and go form at the moment? Let's be honest, they're not looking too flash, but they also get some key ins this week, and you'd expect the likes of Dangerfield and Co to come back in and really prove a difference. They've obviously got some dangerous tools, dangerous smalls, and they're always potent against us, especially at the Adelaide Oval. So let's get straight into it, and let's preview round 14. I'm going to talk about selection pretty much straight away because I think it's the most important thing that we talk about this week, and for any other week at the moment with Port Adelaide. It's the most crucial thing. Obviously, we saw last week Burton be dropped. Lockie Jones is now injured this week, and you'd expect Burton to be the straight swap. That's what I'm hearing on the track at the moment, is that he'll be straight in for Lockie Jones. Selections will obviously be done on the Wednesday night, and this is coming out the Wednesday afternoon. So I do apologise for a late preview. It's just been a pretty hectic few days leading up to this one since round 13 against the Dogs win, which was obviously absolutely fantastic. But with the 6-day turnaround, we look at selection. Obviously, Burton was dropped. He comes straight back in for Lockie Jones. There's no doubt about that. Does Quinton Narkle come back in against his old side? He's been fantastic in the 2 weeks he's been playing against, for the Magpies. So I really think that he's quite a possibility to be the sub this week. Josh Sin may come out. Riley Bonner may be an out as well. And it proves that players that do come into this team and they perform in the Magpies, they can come in, they can prove a difference, and I do think he will get an opportunity as the sub potentially this week. I don't think you make too much more changes as well with the rest of the team. They've obviously been performing fantastic, and I think the way the game shapes for this one, it's definitely going to be a tools type game, and they're not going to have Reece Stanley. They do, as I said, we'll probably get Dangerfield back. Obviously, they're potent down forward with Cameron and Hawkins, and they can always turn one on. And against our smallish backline with Aaliyah and Mackenzie as the two mains, maybe you do look at bringing Jonas in and really trying to be a tough medium tall forward that can take one of those players and really help Aaliyah out to be the more of the intercept player and not get caught out too much, because I do feel like Jeremy Cameron could be quite a potent player in this game, and he probably potentially tears us apart, and they did last year. Obviously, Hawkins and Cameron kicked, I think, 5 each against us, and that was the difference. A slow start was also the difference in that one, and we worked our way back. Obviously, last year's game at the Adelaide Oval. So I think maybe you look at those options, but also you got to play to the structure. I do feel like with Burton coming back in, there's a lot of pace. Dylan Williams has been very, very good down there. Houston's obviously been fantastic. And then Mackenzie, Aaliyah and Co have been just awesome, I think, around the contest as well. So if the midfield and the way we play, defensively can be quite sound, then I don't think having those one-on-one type operations up forward for the Cats will be too much of a worry. In saying that, they always got to be quite nervy with them and their potency up forward. So I think that might affect selection a fair bit, but overall, you're probably looking at the one change, and Burton comes in for Lockie Jones. You might look at Narkle as the sub with Sim being dropped, but it's hard to not reward the players from last week's game because they were absolutely superb in a clutch game and in a crunch moment. I think overall, there's not too much you tinkle with. It's Thursday night footy. It's obviously going to be cold. There is a chance of rain lingering around, so it's going to be a smalls type operation, this one. I do feel like, I did mention it's going to be tools before, but I think they'll play a prominent game if it's dry. If it's wet, obviously, I feel like in the contest we're going to have a lot more impact. Dixon, Marshall, Finlayson can chop in with the ruck, and Lysette's been in superb form, and I don't think in my preview I mentioned Lysette too much, so I do want to shout out to him. He can really tear this game apart if he continues the way he's going. They definitely do have some mobile ruckman. Blitzarves does go through there. Stanley's not obviously going to be playing. De Koning can go through there as well. So he's going to be a little bit more mobile Going to have a little bit more mobile opposition, but I think around the ground, Lycett's been absolutely fantastic, moving freely, doing his job really, really well, and it's going to be something that, if he can give first use to our midfielders. Last week we started very slowly in the midfield. Lycett was getting he had 43 headouts for the game, and all the clearance work was done by the Dogs. And in the end, we drew that back because we put the right people in the right mix in there, and your Boak, your Horn Francis, your Rosie, your Butters, we all went through there, and that stage were just absolutely dominant, especially in that second half. So if Lycett's getting that opportunity to have an early start against the Cats here, it definitely, I think in both games, like the last couple of years we've played him here, we've lost both games, but they've just been, and this is home and away, the finals don't count. Like obviously 2020 qualifying and 2021 qualifying final, we won those games and they were very, very good. But I think in those games that have been home and away that we've lost, it's always been that start, and we've always had a fast start, and there's always been one quarter that we've dropped off, and they've both been, I think, the third quarter and the fourth quarter in corresponding games. So you look at the mentality of how we played last week and the week before with the Hawks. Obviously, the second half, we basically switched off, went back to Alberton. Last week, we came out in the second half. We made an impact in that third quarter, held off a comeback from the Dogs, and were real professional. And I think there's a maturity about this side at the moment for Port that will be a lot more positive when it comes to playing the team like the Cats, who are experienced, who know what they're doing, but they're definitely gettable. And they're sitting ninth at the moment. We're sitting obviously equal top. It does become form becomes everything, and 10 wins in a row clearly becomes a big proposition. You come up against a team that's won so many in a row. It's a great challenge. You're extra motivated to do that, but it becomes scary. Like if Port Adelaide are in a position now to win this game, they go and win it. Well, that's the difference between Port now and Port last year or Port the year before. They go and win that game of footy, and it's really impressive. And it's against a team like the Cats who have that experience. That's everything. Momentum, form, confidence is everything against a team who have more experience and capabilities of winning this game. And I'm not going to put it past us. I do feel like if there's a game to lose, it's the one against Geelong at home. We always seem to do it. But in saying that, this is probably the game for me. Last week was the game that sort of said to me, we're there. We're ready to go now. This is Port Adelaide for the year. I think it sets the tone. 10 wins on the trot. We've won in all kinds of fascist ways. And I think the way the trend's going, it's gone, obviously 10 wins in a row. It's gone close, smashing, close, smashing, close, smashing, close last week. Probably going to be close this week. So with that in mind, I'm tipping Port Adelaide by 11 points. I do feel like it's going to be another tight tussle, and something that probably will be affected heavily on how the midfield plays, and if we can kick straight. I think that's the other thing as well. We did that quite well last week and the week before against the Hawks. So if that trend continues, Dixon, Finlayson, Marshall, they're going to have a lovely day out. And the smalls like Power Pepper, McIntyre, Rioli, Darcy Byrne-Jones, Horn Francis. There's a bit of difference about us at the moment, and I'm tipping us to win this game and win it in a close, tight contest. Prime time footy on a Thursday night. Well, Paul fans, let me know in the comments below your thoughts about this game. What are you all thinking for this one? And I look forward to seeing you all at the Adelaide Oval on Thursday night. Massive game. I'm going to be there. I'm sure you will be as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're building. Look forward to seeing you very, very soon. My name's Anthony, and as always, go ThePear.